We are ready to go live at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern on the 24K Live Show, Vibe106.com. Also being hosted here on your YouTube channel, the 24K Live Show. Today is a day of many good things. It's Memorial Day weekend. I hope you're ready to celebrate. It's going to be some good weather. It's time to set it off. Let's go. Let's go. You're listening to the 24K Live on Vibe106.com, the home of R&B, old school, new school, Motown, hip-hop, 90s, 80s, and more. Simply the best music 24/7. We are in the study of the Vibe House where we talk real life, real money, and being your best self. I'm your host, Derek Gant, and every Sunday, I'm here to help you think bigger, work smarter, and become unstoppable. You know why? Because around here, we don't chase mediocrity. We dominate and walk in our divinity. This show is about living your 24K life, mastering your mind, money, body, and soul to live boldly and unapologetically at your highest level. Yep. Are you ready? Let's lock in. Hey, everybody,
I'm
lock
sure
in.
You've heard the news. Financial freedom is within your reach, thanks to Derek Gant. With over 25 years of experience, Derek's 24K life philosophy transforms everyday challenges into stepping stones for success. Imagine mastering your finances, setting and crushing your goals, and shifting your mindset to elite levels. Derek empowers you with tools for financial freedom and measurable results. His strategies are crafted to ensure you live the life you've always dreamed of. From his book to engaging workshops and online content, Derek's insights are designed just for you. Start your journey today and turn your aspirations into achievements. Visit derekgant.com. It's time to live your 24K life. Are you ready?
I hope you're ready. Hey, listen, did you know that 55% of U.S. adults use credit cards for basic necessities? We're talking gasoline, groceries, your toothpaste, your rent, your utilities, and that is based on a research study done this year in 2026. Absolutely not going to happen. We can't let this happen. So we're going to talk about how to turn that situation around if that's you. You know, if you're using your credit cards, you're using payday loans and prepayment plans and early cash apps to fund your life. We're going to talk about how you can situate yourself so that that doesn't happen.
Easy better blast 'em.
Heaven favor on me now. Every step got purpose in it. Walk through the fire, came back refined. Whole life got courage in it. Fresh off the road with a heart restored, feel the spirit emerging in it. Pain on my chest started losing its grip when I prayed with an earnest spirit. Covered in peace, moving with ease, when I was certain in it. Now when the storm try to rise, I stand, ain't nothing I'm nervous with it. Used to be lost with a hole in my soul, could find no purpose in it. Got to my life, put hope in my walk, now watch how I flourish. Heaven favor on me, I'm moving correct. Grace got me covered from losses and threats. Walked through the valley with nothing but steps. God put me back when I fell in the depths. Storm try to hit, but his love don't bend. Peace in my chest when the pressure extend. Lifted me up when I broke in the end. Now I go harder cause he made me win. Favor on me, walking the steps. Grace on my neck, feel it protect. Fresh off the road, barely get rest. Pray through the month, blessings collect. Word on my chest, armor the vest. God clean my spirit, cover the mess. He gave me peace, I know the rest. Count on the mercy, watch how it stretch. Glory gon' shine, light through the stress. Walk with the king, I'm truly blessed. Came from the valley with hurt in my heart. He pulled me up and strengthened my steps. Walking with truth, no need for finesse. Wisdom and faith, the tools I invest. He took the pain and turned it to growth. Now I stand tall when life try to test. Having favor on me, I'm moving correct. Grace got me covered from losses and threats. Walk through the valley with nothing but steps. God put me back when I fell in the depths. Storm try to hit, but his love don't bend. Peace in my chest when the pressure extend. Lifted me up when I broke in the end. Now I go harder cause he made me win. Didn't take long, his presence control. 5 minutes of praying and lifted the load. Strengthened my body, fire in my soul. Everything shifted when I let him hold. Favor in motion, blessings unfold. Peace in the places I once felt cold. Walking with power, fearless and bold. Trusting his plan in the highs and the lows. Courage inside me, no fear in my chest. He took the guilt and replaced it with Trials get heavy, but still I'm blessed. Moving the spirit, he handle the stress. Mercy renew every day that I wait. Breath in my lungs is a gift that he make. I'm in his hands, no room for the fake. Foundation solid that nobody shake. Having favor on me, I'm moving correct. Grace got me covered from losses and threats. Walk through the valley with nothing but steps. God put me back when I fell in the depths. Storms try to hit, but his love don't bend. Peace in my chest when the pressure extend. Lifted me up when I broke in the end. Now I go harder cause he made me win. Whole lot of weight, but he lifted the stress. Cleaned up the flaws I tried to suppress. Lined up my path when I lived in a mess. Now every move got a heavenly blessed. Wisdom inside me, peace I protect. Follow his voice and it keep me direct. He the foundation, Lord of the breath. Giving me purpose, he right every step. Pulled from the dark when I needed it most. Healed every scar like a surgeon that knows. Strengthened my heart when I felt like a ghost. Now I'm alive with a heavenly boast. Mercy in motion, faith on the go. Trials get loud, but his promise is bold. Grace in my soul and it keep me afloat. Now I walk proudly in stories he wrote. Heaven favor on me, and the proof gon' show.
This is Easy. Heaven's Favor by Easy here on the 24K Live Show. I know you're ready for more. So listen, we've talked about this in the past, but man, there's some new numbers out. There's some new statistics out, and they are alarming. Something that each and every one of us should be taking note of, especially if you or a loved one is in this actual predicament. You know, it is not a surprise the way prices have been moving, the way people have been moved, you know, in and out of positions, being replaced by AI, not finding a home, you know, quick enough to have to use some credit cards. One of the biggest issues that we face for older generations is that they're on a fixed income. They use the cards to supplement some basic things because of an emergency. Maybe they had a flat tire, or maybe they had some health concerns and they need a little bit of extra money, and all of a sudden they're using credit cards to make their life work. So here's my promise for the next 45 minutes. I'm going to show you exactly how to shorten up this hole. How can we get out of this hole? I'm going to show you real numbers, no spin. We're going to dive right in, and then I'm going to hand you the way out, a 90-day plan to stop the bleeding, just like we titled this. Broke on 100K, how to stop the bleeding. So let me just throw down some numbers for you so that you get the gist of what's really going on. I already told you that 55% of U.S. adult households are using credit cards to supplement their necessities, right? We're not talking about vacation or travel or some big emergency purchase. We're talking about day-to-day stuff, and it's getting them hemmed up. So 55% are using their credit cards for basic necessities. 33% are blaming their day-to-day expenses because that number is up in 1 year. That number is up. I'm sorry, in 2 years, that number is up from 28% to 33%. 61% of people with credit card debt have carried it longer than a year. So what does that really mean? So if you're carrying credit card debt longer than a year, and your APR is your annual percentage rate, APR is, let's just say it's 20%. Most likely, and I'll give you some stats on this a little bit later, but most likely, let's just say it's 20%. And you buy a $100 meal. At the end of the year, that $100 meal, you've just paid, if you haven't paid that card off, you just paid $120 for a $100 meal. You paid a 20% premium for something that you've already received and discarded. That's the importance of this whole conversation, is that you're paying 20-30% interest on items that are day to day. They're already expensive. Now they're becoming even more expensive. 22% don't believe that they'll ever get to pay it off. And the five-figure balances have jumped from 23% to 29%. That means that people are carrying up to $10,000 of credit card debt, and it's choking them because the payment is ever increasing. The more you spend, the more it costs you. 41% are paying north of 21% APR. The average pays 24%, and 22% don't even know what their rate is. So what does that mean? It means that I told you I would tell you what the average rate is. The average person is paying 24% interest on their purchases, and they're holding on to these things for the full year. Hey, listen, if you find yourself in a hot mess, or if you want to add to the show, maybe you got yourself out of a hot mess, hit us up, 419-972-1922, or you can comment in the YouTube messaging and let us know who you are, where you are, and what you want to share with the show. We already have a couple questions from last week, but we're always welcoming more because there is nothing wrong with getting more. So I hope you're having a great day. It is sunshiny and bright, the first day of this holiday. I hope you're enjoying it. Yesterday was a good day as well, and we deserve it. You know, it's been raining a lot, it's been cold a lot, but now the sun is out. That's growth, that's opportunity, that's you feeling better, you know, knowing where you are and where you're going. Here's a statistic that I want you to really kind of hone in on. You know, they tell you that you are the culmination of your 5 closest friends, right? The 5 people that you hang around. You are going to be an average of them, meaning if you hang around broke people, you're also going to be broke. If you hang around kind of wealthy people, you're going to kind of be wealthy. If you hang around wealthy people, you will be wealthy. That is one of the adages that we know based on sociology, based on research, is pretty doggone true. But did you know that 1 in 5 people are bleeding out every month? Meaning, when we say bleeding financially, right, you're in the red. That means that you have more days, more time than you have money to cover it. And that is obviously not a place to be. I think I read somewhere in some ancient book that the borrower is always servant to the lender. So if you constantly owe someone, you are the borrower and they have you over what we call a proverbial barrel. So, you know, I would suggest to you, based on the people that I talk to day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out for the last 25, 30 years, that the most important thing that you need to understand is that you cannot get out of a situation when you still have one foot in the situation. So when it comes to finance, what we're really saying is that you need to divest all credit card usage. You know, I mean, just stop. You can't get out of debt by using debt. The card is just a convenience that they have made easy for all of us to tap into. And what you really want to understand is that you're focusing, you know, on the wrong numbers. Yes, you should know what your APR is, your annual percentage rate. Yes, you should know what your account balance is. You should know the minimum payment. You should know when the years are going to be that you get to actually pay that off. But man, what number, if you could choose, what number would you focus on? Would you focus on the debt, on what you're spending, or would you focus on what you are keeping? I can promise you this much, whatever you choose, whatever you focus on is going to expand. Whatever you focus on is going to expand. So if you focus on income, your income is going to expand. If you focus on what you can keep, your brain, your intuition, your resources, your focus, your intentions are going to be pointed directly at what I'm keeping and how can I keep more. So that's going to grow as well. But if you're focusing on the debt's going to continue to grow. So we call it net worth. You know, you want to focus on how much money you've actually been able to keep and accumulate. And the more debt that you get rid of increases your actual net worth, right? Because you can have a negative net worth. If you have $3,000 in your checking and you have $30,000 of credit cards, your net worth is negative $27,000. And that's what people don't understand. They see the $3,000 in their account and they thinking, yo, I'm good. I got money. I can go do a couple things. But in all honesty, you're negative 27. And you wonder when you see these entertainers or you see these athletes and or movie stars or people that you are in the spotlight and you hear that they go bankrupt and they owe, you know, millions of dollars. This is how you get upside down because you borrow against something you don't have. And then when it overwhelms you, you're stuck. You don't have any choice but to bail. And when you bail, it's going to be bankruptcy. It's going to be walking away from the car. It's going to be a debt negotiation. You know, we've talked about all those things in the past, but the most important thing is that you get a grip on it, that you understand that you can't get out of something that you're in if you continue to stay on the same track. The truth is that most people have no idea what they really owe. And that's the number one problem. If you don't know where you stand, then how do you know the next money move that you're going to make is a good money move? You can't. You can't. If you have $3,000 in cash and credit card debt, and you don't know exactly how much you have available to you, what bills are coming up next, what strategy should you be implementing to make that money grow or at least stretch, and you're not recognizing the fact that you have a negative balance or negative net worth, you're going to continue to spend like you have money. That's the ticket. That's the first step. We're going to talk a little bit more about this during the show. If you want to participate, hit us up, 419-972-1922. I'm your host, Derek Gant. We are in the study of the Vibe House on Vibe106.com.
Hey, brother, Enemy thought he had it, didn't he?
Nah, he did.
Matter of fact, Nate, what was that one joint you was playing earlier? It went something like...
Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands. I'm living in these moments that I pray for. Standing in the purpose I was made for. I'm just walking in the hands of the Lord. Give me more, give me more, give me more. You went undercover with your grace. Detective, how you found me in my shame. But you didn't give me over to my chain. You arrested me with love, and you sentenced me to change. Mugshot looking different, I'm amazed. Can you pull me out the grave that you found me in? If you had to run it back, you do it all again. Yeah, and I ain't stepping out. No, I'm locked in and I ain't stressing out. Counted in his hands when they count me out. Sheesh. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands. I just might scream. God's got his hands on me. Ain't no stains on me. Knowing that I'm covered by the blood. Still so clean like dough. My child, a provider. He's my Abba, my Father. I know that you're for me, yeah. I can go the distance when it's the both of us. So just to know this kind of love is the way that you found me in the dark. When I was lost, you brought me home. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands. Hey, run on, look, yeah. Don't it feel good? Living in his favor from the country to the hood. I don't want the paper when I got the holy book. Who'da thought that a crook like me would get courtside seats? Take a look, firm foundation. Standing 10 toes, I can never be complacent. Skyline views when you coming from the basement. Got me like, ooh, going with the praise. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands.
Hey, shout out to Sonia Allen. Thanks for listening to the show, my love. I appreciate you. I adore you. I know that you are hopefully getting something from this. And if you are, make sure you tell your friends, tell your family about it. We want more people to be financially free. We got a couple questions already. I'm going to hit them up as soon as I get back.
78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Even high earners, over 60%, have under $1,000 saved. But a new money move is making way. Welcome to the 24K life. Created by financial performance coach Derek Gant, the 24K Life is where high achievers master their money, sharpen their mindset, building unshakable confidence and wealth. If you're done with the survival mind and are ready to thrive, visit 24klife.org. The 24K Life. Be your best. Get the best. Leave nothing to chance.
Hey, that is my saying. I absolutely adore it. It's be your best. Bring your best. Leave nothing to chance. You know, it comes from a conversation that I had with my mom about 1 billion times growing up. You know, you'd get your report card and she'd say, hey, did you do your best in this particular class? Didn't matter if you got an A, a B, a C. There was no D's. But, you know, she would say, did you do your best? And you had to answer her, right? And, you know, it's your mom. You can't lie to your mom. And I got no poker face anyway. So if I tried, she would know I was lying. So I'd tell her, oh, yeah, no, I didn't do the best. I could have done a little more. Well, what could you have done? And so she would challenge me. Basically, in the black family, a challenge is a threat. In case you didn't know, for you listeners that may have forgot. She threatened me. It was a veiled threat in the form of a challenge. Well, I think we should be trying to do better. And she told me to do exactly what I said I could do. I could study a little bit harder. I could read a little bit more. I could spend more time on my homework, blah, blah, blah. All the things, you know, kids come up with to do better. And then I had to do those things or answer for why I didn't do my best. But here's what I learned. You know, when I got older, and you know, hey, listen, everybody's had that experience where you'd clean something to your specifications. And then your mom, for me, it was my grandmother. She'd come back and say, hey, sweep the floor. And then you sweep the floor. She'd come back and say, I thought I told you to sweep the floor. And you're like, I swept the floor. You're like, no, you didn't sweep the floor. Sweep it again. And, you know, you end up sweeping this floor 3 times. And so what it teaches you, if you want to learn a lesson about life, is to do your absolute best the first time. And what that does for you is it sets a standard. I'm going somewhere with this. It sets a standard in your mindset. It sets a value standard in your life. It sets a standard of worth for your time, because you're sitting there and you're thinking, I could be spending my time playing with the kids. I could be spending my time, you know, doing anything other than sweeping the floor 3 times. So if I do this right the first time, then I can go do the things I want. It also helps you understand the value of who you are. I carry that into my professional life to this very day. If someone is meeting with me and they haven't done, you know, the pre-work that we normally have clients do, and I'm going to answer this question. Here's the question. I make good money and I'm still broke every month. Where do I even start? Okay, I'm not going to read the name, but that's the question. I'm broke. I got good money, but I'm still broke every month. What happens? You know, so you look good on paper, but in real life, you got nothing to show for it. And we talk about this in some of our ads and our posts. First step, by far, unquestionable, is to tell yourself, or to stop telling yourself you're broke. Because you're not broke. You are whole. You are whole. You're making bad choices. Or you're making choices that don't favor your wallet or your lifestyle. Actually, I apologize. You're making choices that favor your lifestyle, not your wallet. So step 1, and I know this isn't what you wanted, but this is the truth, is to start telling yourself, man, I have more than I need. I have more than I need, and more is coming. Now, that's not going to solve your problem, because most people actually do at some point and get more, and then they spend more. So step number 2, step 1 is to make sure your verbiage is right. Make sure you're not living that life that you are talking about in your mind. So you want to live a life of abundance. You need to think of abundance if you want to live abundance. I said in the show about 10 minutes ago that whatever you're focusing on is going to expand. And it's not easy to stop yourself from focusing. And when we talk about this, let's break this down to real plain English. You're telling yourself a story and it's not working for you, right? The story you're telling yourself is that you're broke. You don't have enough money. Well, you have enough money. You're just not putting it where it's supposed to be placed so that it can grow, so that your money can make you some money. You know, I was just talking to my partner about this last night, And, we tell ourselves these stories, and I fight extremely hard against certain stories, right? You might have an injury. You might not be happy with something, and you keep feeding yourself this story about how you're not happy. And, as much as I know about the mindset, and as much as I work hard, I know I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at disrupting these thoughts and putting in better thoughts, but I can be even better at it, right? So I used to tell these stories over and over and over. Then I'd be mad when I finally faced it. Then I got to the point to where, okay, I'm not mad. I just want to share some information, and then it's going to grow from there to even telling yourself a better story and keeping it moving. So what do you need to do? That's the question. What do you need to do? I'll read the question again. I make good money. I'm still broke every month. Where do I even start? So we talked about mindset. Tell yourself the right thing, number one. Number two is you have to take inventory. You can't fix something or you can't go someplace if you don't know where you are. And none of us like looking in the mirror, right, when we're out of shape and naked, right? You don't want to stand in front of the mirror when you're out of shape. Now, you can't get me out of the mirror when I'm in shape, right? And if I'm naked and in shape, you can't get me out the mirror. I want to see all the fine tune. But when you're out of shape, you don't want to see it. And that's what happens with our money. You're out of shape and you don't want to see it. You don't want to admit it. So you just keep pushing and you keep thinking, I'm going to do better with my next paycheck. I'm going to do better with my next bonus. I'm going to do better with my next raise. And you never do better because you're not taking a look. So you don't know what better even is, right? You don't know how negative or how neutral you really are. Are you breaking even? Are you neutral or are you going down a hole? I just told you 55% of working adults are using credit cards to buy gasoline, groceries, toothpaste, underwear, pay rent. They're putting it on a credit card. And so that means that you are taking a payday loan. And if you're taking a payday loan, even from yourself, it's costly. So that rent, instead of $1,000, is $1,200. I gave you the example earlier on $100, right? If you spend $100 on dinner and you put it on a credit card, don't pay it, it's $120. But what if you're paying $1,000 rent? 20% of that is $200. So your rent just went to $200. And that was just 1 month. What if you're putting it on there 2 or 3 months and you're constantly playing catch up? Now that rent is really, truly costing you. So it's not the way you want to roll. You want to put yourself, as the song said, in God's hands. But the first thing God's going to do is take inventory. Where you been putting your money, man? Where have you been putting your money? And where's your money right now? What are you buying that you shouldn't be buying? What are you not? What is the impulse world owning you with? And how can you change that? So the next question I'm going to read, and I'll save the other one for a little bit later. Should I save first or should I get rid of my debt? I don't have any cushion, meaning emergency fund money. So the question is, what should you do? Should you pay off debt or should you save? And I'm going to tell you, you should be doing both. We have our clients do both. So you need to, and I can't tell you everything in one radio show, but what you should be doing is you should be understanding where you are right this second. That means, how many credit cards do you have? How much other debt do you have? How much income do you have? How much income do you have that's left over if you put every dollar exactly where it was supposed to be, how much money do you have left over? And then we take a look and say, okay, well, what money is being wasted? Are we buying cancer policies on our paycheck? Because people do that. They think that that's a great thing to do, and it's not. Buying accidental death policies. Insurance companies are calculating the premium and the payout on these things, meaning that they already know that 9.5 point people will never collect on these policies. So they love selling them because it's straight profit. And that's what you want to know. That's what you need to do, is you need to understand that. So you should be doing both. The way you do both is, the first thing you have to do is take inventory of everything. And when you take inventory and you say, hey, here's all my expenses, right? Here's all of my expenses. So your insurance, your gasoline, your personal care, you list everything out so that you have everything. You list all of your income that's coming in the house. We're not talking about gross. Gross does you no good. You need net numbers. So take a look at your net income. and you take full inventory, and it should tell you if you are ahead of the game, or should you be ahead of the game, or are you behind the game. And because maybe you've not taken a look in so long, you might take a look and see that you need those credit cards. Most people look at their financial statements when we look at them together, and they have no idea how they make it month to month. They don't know, right? They're getting their check early. You know, those people that they get paid on Friday, but because of the way their company operates, they get the check on Wednesday. You know, so they can't wait till Wednesday. They cannot wait till Friday. Friday is going to just crush them. They need that money on Wednesday. And so we don't want that type of life. If you need some help, you can go and reach out to us at 419-972-1922. We will help you to identify where you stand, which is the number one thing that you can do, right behind making sure your mindset is tight. And trust me, if you have been managing your money, you've been managing your resources your whole adult life, and you ain't got no money, what you do have is a bad money manager. It's just the truth. Call it what it is. If you've been in control and you have nothing, you're a bad money manager. So you need to fire yourself. You need to hire somebody to help you get this done right. Do you think for 1 second that wealthy people don't have full tilt managers that not only manage their personal financial life, they manage their business financial life, and all they do is go make money? And they review the documents to make sure nobody's stealing from them. But they don't do it. They hire. I remember one year it was an election year, and what was it? Romney? Yeah, Mitt Romney. And they were interviewing Mitt Romney, and they'd done all his due diligence, and he's talking about his houses and taxes and blah, blah, blah. And dude I think he had something north of 13 different financial advisors helping him structure and restructure all of his stuff so he didn't have to pay taxes. And you might ask, well, why? Because when you're a multimillionaire, you don't want to pay. You want to save. And it's cheaper for you to pay the experts to show you how to keep more money than it is for you to try to keep more money without them. So they pay. And us poor sheep go, oh, I don't have any money. I can't afford to pay somebody to help me get money. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you absolutely have to. When you find yourself hemmed up in a scenario where you can't make your life work and you're making good money on paper, you need some help. I don't know what else to tell you. You can put it in God's hands, but you need some help. This is Glory to the Father by Easy.
Easy better blast 'em.
I've been around Biblical, Jericho, Holy Lands, praying up, bow down. Father, I just hold hands. Big spirit, little dog. Welcome to the Babylon. Trying to get my witness on. People just shit I've been on. I've been around Marathon, Genesis to Solomon. Me and the Sadie, this is life. Royal Tenenbaum. Someone goes to send them all so beyond demand. They want a Harley man, just blue flesh and chances. Big shot in the bomb, make me reminisce upon. I remember being mom praying me. Bible blickies on, teacher said he free me. You know when I don't understand. Even bound in the storm, I rejoice in the Lamb. Jesus got all the glory, and you know it's gonna show. So if I give all praises to the Father, I know.
Easy on the tracks. What? Easy on the tracks. If you need some help, reach out 419-972-1922. I'm your host, Derek Gant, the 24K Live Show on Vibe106.com. We're also on YouTube, Derek Gant 24K.
Most people think their money problems are about income. They're wrong. Every day people work hard, earn well yet trapped by fear, by habits, by self-sabotage. Introducing Derek Gant, financial advisor, stroke survivor, and author of the 24K Life Code. And Derek didn't survive what he survived by accident. His life wasn't spared so he could sell tips. He was commissioned to help people break free from confusion, free from shame, free from systems that keep them busy but never whole. That's why he created the 24K Life Code, a personal and financial operating system that aligns your mind, money, body, and soul. So wealth stops owning you and starts serving you. This isn't hustle culture. This isn't prosperity hype. This is order, discipline, stewardship. If you know you were made for more, but something keeps pulling you back, it's time to break the cycle. Answer the call. Live your 24K life. 24klife.org.
All right, so I told you I was going to give you a way out. I'm going to give you a strategy, a plan, at least some place to start. But before I do that, I would be remiss. You know what? I know you're hosting some parties coming up this summer, grad parties. You're hosting some wedding parties. Listen, if you need some help with your sound, hit up Amin Poet Production Company, AMINPOET.com for all your sound and engineering needs. Amin Poet Productions, they'll take good care of you. So here's the solution. A 90-day plan, and I'm going to break this out for you in 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. So we're going to break this out in phases so that you actually get it. So listen, don't grab your popcorn. Grab your pen and paper. Write this down or cut the recorder on or go to YouTube and make sure you benchmark this episode at this show. We are at the 38-minute mark. So if you want to mark that to come back so that you know exactly where to pick up. This is the solution to the problem. And for those of you that just jumped on, we're talking about this debt trap. You know, they've raised inflation. They've raised rates on credit cards, on gasoline, on food. You need some help, and I'm here to give it to you. So here's what we're going to do. Today, I want you to open up your bank balance app. And I want you to write down the balance on every bill, every credit card charge that you have, right? Write them all down. What are you putting on the card? And I need you to categorize that. Is that essential or is that an extra? Is it gasoline, groceries, cable, Wi-Fi, or is that beer and chips? Is that food out or is it something you bought on Amazon? So I need you to itemize everything. That's the first thing that I need you to do today. And then the next thing you have to do, and it's not even debatable, everything on that list that is not essential, you got to cease and desist. And that means not spending any money. We talked about stopping the bleeding. You can put a Band-Aid on a cut, But if you don't stop the bleeding, the Band-Aid is useless. It's going to come off. The blood is going to come under the Band-Aid, over the Band-Aid, through the Band-Aid. You got to seal up that cut. Some people, get stitches. Some people use super glue. Some people just, get it to stop. They pinch it. They tourniquet. Lots of ways to stop the bleeding, but we have to stop it. For you personally, if you're using credit cards, if you're part of that 55% that are using credit cards for basic purchases, you have to stop using the card. What that means is that you need to empty out your freezer of all the stuff that's in there before you go grocery shopping again. Empty everything out the cabinet. Eat everything that you currently have if that's what it takes for you not to use a credit card because you can't wait to payday. Okay? So we need to figure out how to get to payday. So the best way to do it when it comes to the essentials is make sure you can get to work. Make sure your cell phone's on. Make certain that you have food to eat. And I would suggest the best way to clean your house and your finances is to stop this bleeding, is to eat what you have in your house. We do it in our house all the time, right? We won't go to the store and replenish until everything's gone. And when everything's gone, then we go and we replenish, and it's really pretty close to time to replenishing. So you're going to cease and desist all credit card usage. You're going to only buy essentials. You're going to wait for your next pay period to just get the essentials. And what you want to do is you want to forecast, project. That means you want to go take a look and you want to say, on my next check, which is going to be most likely for most of us the first of the month, because it is the 25th, the first of the month, I have these bills due out of this particular check. Okay. And then this is what I'm going to need until the next check for gasoline, food, groceries. That's steps 1 and steps 2. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make that list up that I mentioned of all the bills that are going to due. And you want to, it's called mapping. We want to map out when they're due and between which paychecks are due. And we just want to manage this paycheck, just this paycheck. If by chance you are going to be short, then you need to reach out to us because we can walk you through how to not only prioritize, but how to position or reposition yourself for financial success. I don't want to give those answers or situations on the radio or on a live feed because it could be different from everybody's situation. So just know that when you do your paycheck, if you don't have enough, then we need to talk about it because what do people do? They put on a credit card. They get a payday loan. They borrow it from family and friends. And you can't get out of debt when you're in debt. If you're going to add to it, it's really hard to get out. So we'll talk about calling your creditors when you actually get even, calling those creditors and getting those interest rates adjusted, hopefully. We're going to talk about paying your core bills first, your personal care second, and everything else has got to be absolutely last. Saying no for the greater good is a skill. And I know you want to say yes to your kids. I'll give you an example. I have this client. She's got the biggest heart on the planet. And she actually sends me these text requests that she gets from family and friends for money. I mean, she is negative. We talked about this, right? If you have credit cards, student loans, and you have very little money saved up in the bank, then you're negative. So she's negative, but she's cash flow. She sees money coming in through her business. Everybody knows that she's this hustler, right? She's got a main business and 2 side businesses, and she's never told these people no. And so when she met with me and we started looking at everything, I'm like, you can't afford to loan people money. It was so bad that she was cash apping, and somebody cashed apped her some money. She cashed apped that back plus some. It was kind of convoluted. It was a family member. It's always a family member. And long story short, she ended up paying fees to do this, help this person out with their finances, and she ended up on the short end of the stick. And she just ate the difference. Right? Because people don't want to hear about that. All they know about is what's good for them. So stop loaning money out. Stop. I hate to say it, but stop, giving extra at church. You have to take care of your house. You have to. And when you get yourself right, this is God loves a cheerful giver. You can't be cheerful wondering if you're going to pay your electric bill or if you're going to give some extra money to the church. We love the church. With all of our heart, we love the church. But there is no church if there's no home. So take care of your household. And I know I'm going to get some pushback from that, but God is in your house. Pray to that church. You got a Bible? Pray to him. Pray to God in the house. Lord, bless me and multiply this money because these bills is beating me up. Right? Because if you take care of yourself, then you can take care of other people. It's the same adage of putting your oxygen mask on first. So that's what you need to do the first 30 days. And you want to monitor those 2 paychecks. You're going to monitor your next check. What needs to come out? What are we going to spend for gasoline and groceries? What do I need to do to get to work? We're going to empty out the cabinet so we eat everything inside the house. We see Coach Don is on Coach Don, and we talk about that. What? We're going to empty the freezer out before we go back, and that's why it's the holiday. We pulled all that stuff out for the holiday. We're going to barbecue all that stuff, right? All the little in-between things that don't make up a meal by themselves, we're going to put it together and cook that up for a holiday, session. So I need you to build what I call a do not touch fund. So here's what I do. And we do this for thousands of clients over the last 30 years. Thousands. Listen to me clearly. This is not something we thought of. This is what we do. So I want you to name this account. I want you to go to your bank account. I already told you to go in there and get your transactions for your bills and for your credit cards. But I want you to go into your bank account, and I want you to name your primary account, the one that's getting all of the money, right? The one that's getting all the money. I want you to name that bill pay account, like bills, right? Or general fund, but bills. And then I want you to open up a second account, and it's your spending money, and it's like your money. So you can say Derek spending. Then I want you to open up an account, and it's going to be a savings account. I want you to name it Never Touch, like never, ever touch. And what we're going to do is once you begin, you're going to stop the old Christmas club thing. Stop. If you're behind and you're bleeding, you can't afford to put money in a 401k. We have got to take care of the right things right, because you're going to end up borrowing from your 401k plan again. This is what everybody does. Don't think I don't know the game. I mean, I know the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, even if it's $10 into this do not touch account, and we're not going to touch it. But you can't put the money in there till the end of the month. So you're going to track those first 2 paychecks the first 30 days, like I told you. At the end of 30 days, for the next 60 days, the next 30 days, you're going to open up this do not touch account, right? And you're going to put whatever in there. It doesn't matter the amount. What I don't want you to put in there is if you have an extra $500 and that's all you have is an extra $500, don't put $500 in there, because you're going to go get it. I promise you, you're going to need it, because you don't change overnight. This is a process. We're creating a new lifestyle. So how about you put $25 in the do not touch fund? And see, this is what we call psychology. So when you pull up your bank account and you see bill pay, okay, I should never touch the bill pay account to go to Wendy's or to go to Applebee's, right? Or go to Kmart or Kroger or whatever. Kmart don't exist no more. Target or whatever, okay? You should never see that on the bill pay account. The bills pay account should be just for bills. And then you have your spending account. That's where you're going to do your gasoline, your nails, your hair, all the things that you need to do. You play poker with the fellas, you're going to put the money in that account. And what you see when you see the do not touch in bills is that money it's I don't want to use the word sacred, but it's untouchable. Because that's how you're able to have enough money to pay the car note when the car note comes due during the second paycheck, right? Because you didn't touch the bill pay money. Because what people do is they go in there and they nitpick at it and they touch it and they pull it out. That's not going to help you. And then the last 30 days. So going into the last 30, you got this do not touch. You have your bills. Then I want you to list this last 30 days. I want you to list all your credit cards. And what you want to do is you want to list them from the highest card to the lowest card. So if you have a $18,000 balance on one card and a $6,000 balance on the next card and 2, you're going to start 18, 6, 2, 1, 500. I owe somebody $20. You're going to list them in that order. You're going to put the percentage rate that you owe down. You're going to put the minimum amount due, and then you're going to put the due date. So I want you to be able to look at this and see, what can I do to get out of this mess? I want you to message the show, 419-972 1922. It's 419-972-1922. And I will send you a calculator, right? A spreadsheet calculator that will help you figure out which debts to pay next, which debts to pay first. And I promise you, we've been using it forever. New song, 24K Live by Easy.
I was broken spirit, now I walk in light. Hook in my left and peace in my right. Didn't chase the blocks, I chased the word. Now my feet stay steady even when it hurts. I learned slow game, be fast, pride. Plant good seed, let the Lord provide. Be hands, clear mind, I don't need the show. Heaven in my steps, watch the favor grow. He ordered my steps, in my table food. I say yes, 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 yes. Now I live by the rule. 24K life, 24K life. God's favor on me shining so bright. Golden mindset, I keep it right. Abundance on me, 24K life, 24K life, 24K life. Faith over fear, I sleep at night. I obey, He blessed, that's the drive. 24K life, 24K. I count my wins in wisdom, nothing changed. Not by what I wear, but the change in my veins. Discipline, rhythm, I rise on time. Prayer on my tongue and no plan in my mind. I don't need a flex, but the world calls free. I'm free in my soul and the rest follow me. Bills get handled, doors swing wide. When I walk in purpose, grace takes the ride. He ordered my steps, made my table full. I say yes, 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 yes. Now I live by the rules. 24K life, 24K life. God's favor on me shining so bright. Golden mindset, I keep it right. Abundance on me, 24K life, 24K life, 24K life. Faith over fear, I sleep at night. I obey, He blessed, that's the drive. 24K life, 24K life. Not from the streets, but from the throne. Built on the rock, I stand alone. Every closed door was a holy guide. Now I move with heaven on my side. 24K life, God's favor on me shining so bright. Golden mindset, I keep it right. Abundance on me, 24K life, 24K life, 24K life. Faith over fear, I sleep at night. I obey, He blessed, that's the drive. 24K life, 24K life.
So, Sonia says, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Sonia, you were reading my heart. You can't pour from an empty cup. They always tell you put your oxygen mask on first. Listen, we have just a few minutes left, and I want to make sure you understand something. I am unequivocally putting you on game. This is the game. This is how you start the money game. See, everybody wants the sexy version, like, oh, I want to invest. What about, this Amazon? What about this, Alphabet stock? What about, Tesla doing this? And everybody wants to go hot and sexy with the investing. I get it. But even that's like watching paint dry. Because here's the truth of the matter. If you don't have anything to invest, and or you have something to invest, but that's all you have, you're going to have to go get that investment money if you're not prepared with the proper financial situation. And that's having a solid financial foundation. That's what the principles that I'm teaching. This is not like something I just pulled out of my hind parts. This is chapter 8 of my book, right? The 24K Life Code. Chapter 8, Stop the Bleeding. It walks you through exactly what to do, and I just gave it to you. It sounds trivial. It might sound simple, but you haven't done it. Do you know what your net worth is right now? Do you know? The answer is 9 out of 10 times the answer is no. So that means you don't know your numbers. How much debt do you owe and what interest rate are you paying on those debts? There's some smart people out there that are going out there and they're making some better money moves, right? One of the best moves you can make is to take your debt and put it on a HELOC because you're paying far less. You get to write the interest off. If you get a HELOC loan, you get to write that interest off just like your regular mortgage payment or the interest on your mortgage payment. So that's a double win. Now you're starting to get some money back. Now you're saying every dollar has a duty and I got mine marching to the beat of my wealth drum because I refuse by any means to continue to suffer as I walk this walk because I was told life is good. Life's supposed to be good. Why do we keep making it harder for ourselves? By making poor financial decisions. Now, for you entrepreneurs out there, I know you're not making bad decisions. I know you just don't have enough sales, but we still have to have a foundational premise for managing our resources. Naming those accounts and go as far as to have a travel fund. Name it vacation or name it Paradise Island, right? And you put money in it because psychologically, when you look at your accounts and you say, I have a bill account, I have a do not touch fund, I have my personal spending money, I have this travel fund, I have a home repair fund, right? I have a new car fund. When you have these accounts and they're labeled, you are consciously telling yourself, number one, I've strategically planned for these events to occur with ease. Number two, if I'm going to go get any of those dollars out of which bucket, I am ruining that bucket's dream unless it's going towards that bucket. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're going on vacation. Or this used to happen to me all the time. I want to go on vacation. I want to go on vacation. And they're like, okay, so then I'd have to go do a whole bunch of math to figure out how much vacation we could afford. But what I'm telling you is that if you're putting money into your vacation fund, you got to do no thinking. You go open up your bank account. You look at your travel fund and you say, oh, there's $2,700 in there. We can take a $2,700 vacation. That might be a long weekend. I don't know. I'm just telling you, when you strategically plan, you set the money aside, you don't have to make those decisions because the money is in the account. Now, hopefully, if you want to plan a big trip, and I have clients that have done this every month, right? One of them is a travel agent. She likes to travel. So when we plan her trips, she'll put it on the credit card, and then every month, now she's in the right spot to put it on the credit card. You've got to be in the right spot. We put it on the credit card, and then every month we annihilate that debt every month because she's playing for it 12 months in advance. So she's being strategic about this. She's getting the points, she's getting the numbers, and she's got an arrangement with them so that, she's not getting hit. So we pay it every month. We pay what she would have been paying for the trip. We put it on that card. We'll wipe it out. By the time the trip comes, that debt's totally gone. She can travel with ease, knowing when she comes back home, she doesn't have any more debt. So there's a method to all of this madness. You just have to dial into it. You have to understand that it's not going to be mystical and magical, but it's going to be precise. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be accurate. And I promise you, I guarantee, and you should know, financial advisors never guarantee, right? So I'm not guaranteeing a return on investment. I'm guaranteeing you a return on you. If you commit to the strategy that I just laid out for you during this show, and you stick to it for 12 months, I promise you, good things are going to be in your bank account. Hey, if you need some help, hit us up, 419-972-1922. And as always, you know that you have to believe. If you don't believe, nothing will ever happen.
78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, but you don't have to. The 24K Life created by financial performance coach Derek Gant, giving you high achievers the system to master money, mindset, and success. Are you ready to rise? Visit 24klife.org. Live 24K.
Hey, I tell you this, you're called and coded for greatness, but you got to believe. I just can't help but end the show with Ferris Hill's Believe remix.
Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. joint by Dr. Ferris Hill. Just believe. Just believe you can do it. Just believe, nothing to it. Just believe in yourself. Just believe. Just believe. Just believe you can take it. Just believe you can make it. Just believe you'll get through it. Just believe. Just believe.
All right, fam. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you so much. You know, this is a live radio show that we stream on Vibe106.com. I also subsequently stream here on YouTube. Just for those of you that want to see something in addition to listen to something, it gives you an opportunity to go back and play it again if you want to. It's not the music, it's the information, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, when I was a young man in church and in life, you know, it was our faith's belief that when God said he's going to bless you, or a prophet said he's going to bless you, that you had to claim it, you had to touch it, you had to walk around it 7 times, you know, the trumpets and the walls of Jericho fall down. And I'm not against it. But what I'm for is you actually doing something. I'm for you saying to yourself, this is where I am, this is where I want and need to be, and then becoming delusionally obsessive about taking the right steps towards that end. Because that's the only way, not the only way, that's the primary way you're going to get what you need. Hey, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you get lots of sunshine, a lot of vitamin D. Don't overeat. Make sure that you are staying focused, that you're staying centered, and that you be your best, you bring your best, and you leave nothing to chance. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. Come back.